If you want to make big changes in your life, you want to change the way that you feel throughout the day, the output and results that you see, the way that your relationships are, then you need some daily habits to help you stay on track. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Anna Wickham, and I help people create a radiant life through passion, purpose, and peace. And today I want to share 6 habits that really made a huge impact in my life. They have to be easy, they have to be accessible, and something you're able to integrate into your already busy, crazy, packed schedule. Often what happens in our lives is some kind of breakthrough, or in my case, breakdown, rock bottom moment. Something monumental happens that makes us decide that we want to make a change in our lives, that we don't want to feel the way we've been feeling, or we don't want to have relationships like what we've been having. Whatever the case is, something happens and we make a very powerful decision to make a change. But how? How do we go from living one way to living in a completely different way like that? It takes some time. And if you're expecting to be able to change your behavior or change your mindset or change your approach to life overnight, or do it all in one fell swoop, then you're probably going to wind up getting really discouraged and disappointed, and you may give up completely. I don't want that to happen. With the habit approach, you can change your life, but it's going to be a little bit at a time, but that's going to be the way that it will stick. That's how to create real transformation in your life. Habits are something that we have control over. We don't always have control over our behavior, the way we approach situations, our mindset, but we do have control over setting habits in our lives and committing to doing those habits throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. And those habits are what's able to transform our lives over time, so gradually that you may not actually even notice it. You might have someone in your life, someone close to you, tell you after a while, wow, you seem different. You seem more at peace, or you seem more relaxed, or I don't even know what it is about you, but you seem different. Those to me are signs of real transformation that's going to be lasting. So here are 6 habits that I use throughout the day and the week to help me stay on track, to stay connected to who I want to be, and to feel the way I want to feel and have the results I want to have in my life. The first one is connecting with my source daily. I spend time throughout the day connecting with God, and when you first hear this, you may think, oh, I don't have time to spend a lot of time in prayer and meditation. The good news is you don't need a lot of time. It's just like a tiny touch base in my head throughout the day. So here's how it works at a very practical level for me and everyone's relationship with God, whether you call it God, source, the universe. Every person's relationship is different. So I want to encourage you to find the relationship that is truly your relationship with a higher power of your own understanding. Here is how this habit works for me throughout the day. When I first wake up, it may take me a minute to remember and get acclimated, but as soon as I remember, I touch base with my higher power, my inner guide in my mind, and I just say, good morning, higher power, just like you would your spouse or your friend or your roommate. Just good morning. Start having that line of communication open between you throughout the day. I touch base with my higher power throughout the day as often as I can remember. And to be honest, sometimes that's almost none, and then I get to the evening and I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wasn't even in touch with my source all day. And then other times I'm able to remember to just be in touch 10 or 12 times a day. And you might think 10 or 12, that's so many, but it's really just a split second acknowledgement that there is a power that's greater than me that is guiding situations that are out of my control. The second habit that I've started to do in everything I do is focus on my input and not on the outcome. I used to spend a lot of time thinking about the result that I wanted, whether it was a work thing or a relationship situation, even something about how my physical appearance looked, whatever it is. I would focus on the result that I wanted and then try to get that result. What that did was that made me really anxious. It made me kind of controlling, rigid, not open to other creative possibilities or maybe even options that popped into my life that were even better than what I had planned because I was so focused on getting one particular result. What I do now is I focus on what am I going to do to get me closest to the best result that I can imagine right now. So I focus on what's in my sphere of control rather than focusing so much on a really specific outcome. I think it's totally okay to want a specific result or a specific outcome. But when we focus on that too much, we actually get ourselves out of alignment with our higher power because we're so focused on what we want that we're actually not even in touch with the present and how things really are. So the irony of that is when we're focused too much on a very specific result, especially on our timeline, ironically, it puts us in a mindset that takes us further away from what we want. It puts us in a state of agitation and resistance to how things really are. At a practical level, this can mean maybe you want a specific goal. You're starting a business and you want it to be successful on this timeline. I would focus on what is it you can do to put you in the best position to get those things, but also acknowledging that they're not completely in your power, right? You can't guarantee that your business will make this much money by this date. You can do everything in your power to get there, but acknowledge that there are parts of it that are out of your control, and you're going to consciously choose to focus on the things that are in your control. I did a video recently about how to overcome comparison and self-doubt. I talk a little bit more about surrendering the outcome to our higher power. So if this interests you, you can check out that video. I'll put it in the description box below. Number 3, incorporate some reminders throughout the day that will help you come back to remembering how you want to feel. There's a few things that I set up throughout my day to help keep me grounded on who I want to be and help keep my mindset in a place of peace and love. One thing I do is I pull an affirmation card from an affirmation deck every morning and I put that affirmation on my desk. It helps me set an intention for the day. Some other things I've incorporated is I use an affirmation app called I Am, and it pops up affirmations on your phone at whatever interval you want. That is such a cool way to stay connected and stay remembering what your goals are and who you want to be. If you use a planner every day, you can write a note at the top of your planner. Or if you're like me and you use a digital planner, then you can write a note and stick it right at the top of your to-do list so that every time you look at your to-do list, you're reminded of this message from yourself to touch base or for whatever goal you want to have. Finally, you can just do an old-fashioned reminder alarm on your phone at any interval you want and make it say anything you want. I love these methods for me to stay focused on what really matters even when I'm super busy and there's a lot going on. I actually want to hear from you. What reminders or messages throughout the day do you set for yourself or set up for yourself that help you stay on track? I would love to hear those. If you can share them in the comments below, I can't wait to read them. Number 4 is I have a daily morning spiritual practice. I know you're thinking that mornings are hectic. You're trying to get out the door. Maybe you're taking care of your kids and got to get them going. This practice has helped me so much in setting the tone for the entire day. My day goes better, my relationships go smoother, my mood is more regulated, and when I feel better, then honestly the results and the output in my life always go better too. To boil it down, all I really do is I spend 10 minutes in silent meditation, and I love to use the app Insight Timer for my timing of my 10 minutes. and I read a spiritual text that inspires me. I like to read A Course in Miracles or any of those little books that might have 365 messages and then you read the one for this date. Whatever inspires you, whether it's a spiritual text or some kind of reader, then whatever you can feed yourself in the morning, that will set you up for success throughout the day, not just in your output, but just making sure that you're feeling good. Number 5, incorporate a steady diet of inspiring content and nutritional food in the form of content and education to help keep you on track. This may be the most crucial change that I made, because when I first realized that I needed to make a change in my life, I was really struggling on how to stay in the mindset. I would somehow be able to access it randomly, accidentally, periodically, and I would think, oh, this is how I want to feel all the time. But I struggled to stay there and to be there consistently. All that changed when I decided to start feeding my mind inspirational information and content. Whether it's YouTube videos like this one, I love listening to audiobooks, and I choose some favorite ones and I actually listen to them over and over again, not so much for the information, but just because they inspire me. They remind me that it's possible for me to live differently. It's possible for me to change. So here are the things that help me: audiobooks, YouTube videos, podcasts, even reading, if that fits into your schedule. I find it's really hard to find time to sit down and read a book, so I do a lot of audiobooks. And I do this daily when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I'm putting on my makeup or doing my hair. I'm always listening to something inspiring. And also my drive to work. So if you have a commute, spend that 5, 10, 30 minutes, an hour, however long that is for you, feeding your mind pure nourishment. I know it's tempting to spend that time listening to news or your favorite true crime podcast, or catching up on listening to your favorite reality TV on Netflix while you're getting ready. Is that just me? Okay. But I find that sets my day up to be the person that I want to be and help me when I encounter challenges throughout the day. Number 6, find your people. You're going to actually have a really difficult time making changes in your life if you are trying to be a one-person change. And meanwhile, maybe you're hanging out with some of the same people that caused you to have maybe bad habits that you're trying to get away from, or maybe it's not that at all and they just have a different mindset, different focus, different priorities than you. Nothing wrong with that. I would encourage you to find your tribe. Find a group of people that thinks the way that you do, and you guys can support each other. This may mean a support group. It could be a church if that's what you're into. Maybe it's an online community. There's retreats. I've made lots of great connections through going to retreats, yoga studios. There's so many places for you to meet people who have a similar mindset and similar goals. This is going to catapult you to where you want to be so much faster than if you're trying to do this all by yourself. Maybe even don't tell anyone that I'm trying to make these changes. Lean on the support of others, but be selective about who you include in that circle, because some people don't really want to see you change. They may not have it out for you, but you changing might mean that you're a little bit more distant from them. So just watch out for that when you are reaching out to people for support. Bonus tip: revisit your spiritual text or inspiring text or something that inspires you daily right before you go to bed. Now, I'm not actually always able to do this. Sometimes I'm too tired or there's things going on. It's something that I try to incorporate as much as possible, but I feel like it really just ties in from my morning practice, my touch bases throughout the day, and then just ties everything up before I go to sleep and just reminds me what's important and puts my priority where it needs to be. I love focusing on peaceful ideas and surrendering again to my higher power before I go to sleep, because it just gives me even more peace and a restful night's sleep. I created an audio training called How to Find More Passion and Fulfillment Right Now. And that audio training contains even more tips of ways you can approach your daily life to have more passion and fulfillment. And they're really practical, just like the things we've talked about together here. So if you want to access that, I will drop the link. And it is at annawickham.com/audio-training. That audio training is a great supplement to the conversation we're having now, because it's all about creating daily changes in our mindset that don't take a lot of time but make a huge difference in how we feel and how we connect with the world. I will see you guys next time.